Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here, and I'm gonna review a 1986 slasher called Evil Laugh, directed by Dominic Brescia, and it gets a 4.8. But it's a movie that I watched several times now, and I still like it. It's it's so bad that it's good. Basically, it gets a 5.5. Now, before I start the review, like and subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost anything. It just means a lot to me. Now, the reason why this movie's bad acting, cheesy acting, 80s, typical 80s, and the killer. I mean, the killer has this evil laugh. That's the reason why the movie's called Evil Laugh. Has this sort of what it looked to me a blackface mask, which is super racist. Now, if you do that now, like back in the day, in the 50s TV shows, you had white people coloring themselves with fucking black faces. It had that look, that mask. What the fuck? And then he did like an evil laugh on top of that, like. So it was actually pretty messed up, but it was funny at the same time in the sense that the acting, it's just okay. So the movie starts with a guy called Jerry. He wants to buy this house, so he's meeting with a realtor named Roger, and they go in the house. It's big. It used to be a child scare house, for childs to be taken care of. But something happened there 10 years ago. Now, this is not mentioned by Roger, but Roger knows it and Jerry knows it. Now, there's this grocery boy that comes with the groceries, that delivers the groceries. And then you hear Jerry yelling. The grocery boy is gone, and you see him yelling, "Where is my liver? Where's my fucking liver? I need to make my famous liver pate." So it's that kind of guy, liver pate. Okay, he gets killed by the killer, stabbed multiple times, and then he gets his heart stabbed. And instead of a bowl with liver, you get a bowl with a heart in. So and then the movie starts, and you have three separate cars getting in. Okay, all these guys are jacked. Some of them are bulky, some of them are shred. There's this one guy named Mark Armstrong, and he gives the realtor his hand. He's like in his skimpy swimming trunks. He's like shredded, and I mean shredded to the bone. Every muscle anatomically a human can have, this guy has. Okay, and his name is Mark Armstrong, a urine guy. So all these people are basically people who are practicing pre-med, to be doctors, but he's gonna be a urinologist. Is that correct? A urine guy, Mark Armstrong. And you have multiple. You got this character called Barney. Every guy is jacked except Barney. Now Barney is the no, it's not per se the token comedic relief guy. He's more the guy who thinks there's something going wrong in that house and that they should leave. And he's also a guy who's reading Fangoria all the time, and people are like, "Stop reading that fucking Fangoria and just go to bed, please." He's also the only guy who doesn't have a girlfriend. There's one single lady, Betty, I believe that her name is Betty, and she was an ex to so many characters in this movie. So there's a lot of kills in this movie too. So I'm gonna say Sammy. I'm not sure what his name was again, or Roger or something. No, Sammy. I think She was an ex of one of the guys there, and Mark Armstrong, going all the way through, literally. um, but what happens is that Barney's under the bed, and he's holding. So you see this super muscular dude on the bed, and Betty wants to fuck him. And then eventually, you see, before they get in the room, you see a knife plucking through the sheets. The same knife the killer uses. This sort of half machete, not as big, but too big to be a hunter's knife or something. And meanwhile, while they're having sex, you see these hands. It looks like her hand on his butt cheeks, and oh, I like it when you're rubbing my butt cheeks. And she's, I'm not rubbing your butt cheeks. Who the hell is? Beep beep. It's Barney. He's just, you motherfucker. But they all love Barney. Barney's Barney. And but then, before the killing starts, the Connie, the wife of Jerry, who's now missing, of course, MIA, and they still don't know where the fuck he is, and they still go on with the cleaning up, partying. They're fucking okay. They don't know where the fuck he is. Again, it's nighttime. They're sleeping. Like, they don't know where he is. So before they go to bed, Connie's gonna tell this story because everybody's asking about this Martin guy. What happened here? Well, Martin apparently killed a man named Martin, who was a caretaker in this child's home. Killed 18 children, slit their throats, basically slit their throats, and if it took too long, held up their legs, letting the blood slide out. Pretty horrifying stuff, to be honest. And then if they made too much noise during, it cut off their tongues. Pretty fucked up individual. And then they don't know what happened with him. He was gone. And then at that instance, the killing starts. Okay, first one, you got the chief, this big fat chief. So you got all these jacked up doctors to be, and I never knew that a doctor was so jacked. I never seen a doctor in my life. Doctors that I seen that were so jacked. They were skinny because they constantly had to work shift after shift after fucking shift, and they were all like, oh, I'm going into the fucking, weight room, jack myself some up. Yeah, how? Okay. And I know those pre-med, it's pretty tough, right, to get through those. To get those exams, to get those, degrees and all that shit. So there's this super fat sheriff called Chief Cash, and he's sitting there and he's asking for if we misplaced a bag boy. So the bag boy from the beginning, he's killed by the killer with a drill, by the way, off screen, but you see him being killed by the drill. You see blood spattering. And no, we didn't see him. We thought he just left his food and went out. Okay, if you see this boy, please call our station. And then he goes, but then he lets this. He's calling the station, and then he's calling another guy named Freddy who's sitting there like 10 feet in the pickets, and he's saying, "Hey Freddy, it's me, Chief Cash. Keep an eye on this house, will you? Tomorrow morning, Winslow will relieve you." "Yeah, but Sheriff, when can I? Okay, you deputized me, but when can I become a real deputy with a gun? Soon, Freddy. I know, soon." So they're holding this entire time. He just has binoculars and a walkie-talkie, and he's sitting there, and he has clothes like a vagrant, torn shirt and shit like that. And then he says, and then you get this cool scene, but the scene is completely destroyed. He says, "But Sheriff, who's the guy on your back seat? Who's the guy in your car?" "Guy in my car? I'm here alone in my car, Freddy." "No, but there's somebody on your back seat, Chief." And then he says, "Okay, I'm gonna take a look-see for you, Chief." And instead of looking and seeing what's happening, the Chief getting attacked, getting his throat slit, he's there like, "Oh my God!" And then he gets a machete through the back. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, if you see a guy in your back, you said, "Get the fuck out. There's somebody in the back of your squad car. Get the fuck out." It's like in Urban Legends, right? The beginning of Urban Legends. And when they told that story in the house, they all put the music on, chippy music, party, and they were like, and then you see the butts of the girls like going like this. And then the butts of Mike Armstrong and the butt of Mark Armstrong. They had to put his butt in with his skimpy. Oh my God. And then they get killed all by one, right? I believe Barney gets trapped. The real estate guy comes over because one of the more preppy, gonna be surgeons. He calls up for Roger to fix it, and he was just having sex with his wife, Sadie, but Sadie doesn't want him for a lick. He puts him away, and he asks for a kiss. Then he gives a kiss on the forehead. She's kind of disgusted by him, and so what happens is Roger sees Barney. Barney asks for a lift to town. He says, "No problem, I'll give you a lift. Then I shall first need to go to the basement and fix the water." He goes to the basement, fixes the water, and then he gets stabbed through the ass. No, from the back of the ass through the dick. And then Barney's going to take a look-see, and Barney gets locked out by the killer. For some reason, the killer just locks him out. And then the killer goes on a warpath, killing everybody. Like, for example, Mark Armstrong gets an axe straight to the forehead. Oh yeah, there's one kill. The ex of Betty, who's lying on the ground. He gets clonked in the head by a hammer, and then he's, unconscious for a moment. He gets binded together, and then his head is put in a microwave oven. Now, so far as I know, you can operate a microwave oven with the door open, and he says that too. But for some reason, the microwave oven operates, and it starts to heat, and you see the blood squirting out of the oven. And I'm thinking, okay, that's gory, but how? I mean, okay. Like I said, it's that cheeky B movie slasher movie fun that I just love, and that's why I'm giving it a 5.5. And then spoilers for the ones who don't want to know spoilers. Okay, um, I recommend this one if you've never seen this one. Although it's a really low budget movie, very bad acting actually. It's so bad it's good. You know, the kills are corny, but they're gory and they're weird. Like I said, with the microwave of the, and then after hearing this morbid story, everybody starts dancing. I mean, it's just watch it. Um, and this movie doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'll also tell you why in the killer's perspective, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. So who's the killer? So the killer is running after the one girl alive, Connie. She goes to the basement. She has a gun, a revolver. She goes to the basement, fires the killer once in the shoulder, but then instead of firing again, she just stands. You should be dead. You should be dead. And then the killer hits the gun out of her hand, and she gets away. And then you see she takes her mask off, and it's Sadie Burns, the wife of the realtor. Now apparently, so okay, here it gets complicated. So how in the fuck did she do all these murders while she was fucking Roger Burns? So I don't understand. Was she was always there then, like a flashback in the bedroom? It was weird. It was weird. It didn't compute. And then she said that Martin was her son, and he committed suicide by hanging, and that he didn't kill everybody, but she did. She slit the throat of everybody. Now, why? Because everybody, there was hard on Martin. Martin was a little bit simple-minded, so they all kind of picked on him, and her revenge was killing 18 kids, including of those 18 kids were 5 babies. What the fuck? Sadie Burns, you fucked up bitch. Eventually she gets shot. Okay, and Barney comes out of this robe situation. He gets a gun, he blasts 2 more bullets in her, she dies. She does one more thing like this. She does one more and dies, that evil laugh. And apparently the evil laugh was spoken in by the director himself, Dominic Garcia. He did the evil laugh sound, and not Sadie Burns, the actress. Sadie, who played the actress of Sadie Burns. There were no known actors in this movie. And then Barney said she thought I was dead. She thought I was dead by leaving him in the basement for maybe 30 minutes. Okay, weird. And then this movie has the most weird ending of all. So Connie is in her apartment having a shower. All the way through the movie you don't see tits, and then at the very end of the movie you see Connie's tits in the shower. Boom. And the killer is there in her apartment with a butcher's knife, and he's following Connie, and then it's Barney making another prank, and he says, I seen Sadie Burns being buried, she's dead, no worries, it's just a prank. And she, because she was screaming, she was petrified, she already had like a PTSD. situation got going on. She takes a scissor and then she says, Barney. Woo! And he's like, what are you doing? Off screen, movie ends. So apparently Connie killed Barney off screen because he went a little bit too far with his pranks, and there you got your movie. Evil laugh. Oh my god. It's fun reviewing this one because I already reviewed this one, but I saw it yesterday, so I thought, why not? It's a great movie. I recommend it. It gets 5.5 from me, and it's so bad it's good. That's basically the gist of it. You know, you got gore, and you got bad, funny acting. Yeah. What do you need more with some popcorn and a good drink? Nothing more, right? See you later for a new Diddy.